The Trinity can be one of the hardest concepts of the Bible and of God to grasp. The Trinity is a representation of the three distinct persons of God: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Each person in the Trinity is its own distinct person. However, each person is also still fully God. This concept can be fairly confusing because it can be hard to understand that each person is God while still being distinct. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are not just different roles of God or different names for Him, but they are each their own person. Matt Perman states, for example, since the Father sent the Son into the world, He cannot be the same person as the Son. Likewise, after the Son returned to the Father and the Son sent the Holy Spirit into the world. Therefore, the Holy Spirit must be distinct from the Father and the Son. This shows us how each person in the Trinity is distinct. Each distinct person of the Trinity has a distinct role. Each one of the persons in the Trinity work together, so we cannot necessarily separate their individual actions. However, we can look at their relationships to each other in order to determine what their operations are. In an article by Alida, it states, each act of God is the work of the Trinity as a whole, so we cannot attribute a property or an action to one specific divine person alone. But to this we must immediately add that the way the divine persons operate depend on how one of them relates to the others, the Father to the Son and to the Holy Spirit, and vice versa. God the Father is the first person of the Trinity. The Father is considered the creator. He created the earth, heavens, and all matter, whether that is invisible or visible matter. He created the human race, and He made us in His image. The Father brings omnipotence, or unlimited and great power, into the Trinity. He works along with the Son and the Holy Spirit, and is considered as the head of the Trinity oftentimes. The second person of the Trinity is God the Son, also known as Jesus Christ. He was the only begotten Son of the Father. Begotten and created are two very different things. Jesus is the only begotten Son. In Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, the author states, God begets Christ, but He only makes men, by saying that I have illustrated only one point about God, namely, that what God the Father begets is God, something of the same kind of Himself. Jesus is the only Son who was sent into the world, fully human and fully God at the same time. He was born of the Virgin Mary. The Son had many purposes for coming to earth. He showed us what a perfect human life looks like and gave us an example of how we should live our lives. Arguably, the most important reason for Jesus to come to earth was to die on the cross to save all of humanity from their sins. The Son brings wisdom into the Trinity. He is loved by the Father and is represented on earth through the Spirit. The third and final person of the Trinity is the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit came to earth after Jesus' resurrection when He descended back to heaven. The Holy Spirit is called the Helper. He lives in the hearts of believers and guides them in their day-to-day lives. The Spirit sometimes can be looked at as a force instead of as a person in the Trinity. The Holy Spirit is just as much God and just as much a person as God the Father and God the Son. Matt Perman shows us that the Spirit has just as much personhood as the Father and the Son. He states that the fact that the Holy Spirit is a person, not an impersonal force, is also shown by the fact that He speaks, reasons, thinks and understands, wills, feels, and gives personal fellowship. This shows us how the Holy Spirit has just as much importance and personhood as the Father and the Son. The Holy Spirit brings guidance and love to the Trinity and works through the Father and the Son's love. It is also very important to understand that each person in the Trinity is still fully God, even though they are distinct. Although they each have their own persons and relationships, they are all still one singular God. They work through each other and have their own unique relationships with each other. However, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are all unified as one God. They are not pieces or parts of God either. They are all 100% God. No being is greater than or less than one of the others. No being is less than the whole entire being of God. They are all one God's being in its fullness lives in each person of the Trinity. They all share the same exact essence. In fact, when we were talking about the Trinity, we also often say, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We don't say names plural. They are a singular God that share the same qualities and essence. However, they are still distinct and personal. Each action from the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is an action of God. No action can be considered as one of an individual because they are all in one. They do work in different ways to complete the same goals, however. They each have a different, distinct relationship with each other as well. Alida gives us another great example of this. So if the Father is the creator, he creates with the Word, that is, with the Son, and in love, which is the Spirit. They all work together through their relationships with each other. The Trinity can be a very hard concept to understand. It is unlike anything that we know on earth. God is three distinct persons in one. He is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, all at the same time and in the same capacity. Each person is distinct while still being fully God in all of his glory. Although the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit all bring something unique to the Trinity, they are all still fully God and are all one and the same. Thank you.